Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country. And today we have the English artist and band member Laura Holden. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good, good. Good. Oh, no worries. Always welcome. Always welcome. So the first question is going to be your hardest question out of the whole interview, I promise you. Who is Laura Holden? And tell us about the band.
Okay. So I am I'm a bass player and I'm a vocalist, and I'm the lead singer and bass player of Chasing Twisters. So we are a five-piece modern country slash rock group. And we play original music. We call it English storytelling with a country twist, I guess. um, I suppose we sort of bring in our own, take on country music from an English point of view, and we try and bring in bits of like where we've come from. Some of our songs have got a bit of history in them as well. So we just try and provide our own take on what's going on in country at the moment.
Oh, why not? Why not? That sounds awesome. That's awesome. So your other band members are all male, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered. That's kind of what it's like in music for girls, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is a bit like that. It is. So how did the band come together?
So it was mainly put together by one of our main songwriters and guitarist, Craig Chapman. He'd been wanting to get a country band together for a while. Then lockdown hit, and he had loads of songs ready to go. He'd been in a band before called Tara's Secret, who were they're more like a melodic rock kind of,
Yeah.
90s style sort of band. Yeah. And I think that had just sort of come to an end, and he'd been working and not doing as much music, and then he sort of wanted to put this together. And basically he just contacted me on a join my band sort of website, because I was just really wanting to get out there doing music again. I'd had a bit of a break for family commitments and
Mm.
had two babies, so couldn't do much for a while. So yeah, and he saw me and saw that I was interested in putting together a country band as well. And yeah, we met, just the two of us, put our songs together, and we thought actually these can kind of work because I write as well. And
Mm.
then just tried to get other band members together, a bit of advertising, bit of through people we knew, like so Craig brought in another old army mate
Okay,
to
why not?
join the band as well. So he's our other guitarist, and then a former member of the band who was in before, Tara's Secret. He's our keyboard player, and then we found a drummer. We're on our second drummer, unfortunately, but it is actually more fortunate because he's amazing and he's gelled really well.
Uh,
So we found Craig just again on like a band website. So just all a little bit mishmash, but we all came together and it works.
it works.
Wow, yeah.
I like that. That is very, very cool. It's very different to have a lead singer that plays the bass.
Yes.
You normally have the bass player in the back, sort of being me, you know what I mean? So it's very different. So why the bass? Do you play any other instruments, or is it just the bass?
Yeah, I play a bit of guitar and a bit of piano, and obviously I sing. But my dad was a bass player, and
Oh,
I think I'd
okay.
started off playing the piano, and then I'd seen him in bands as well, and I just really liked what he was doing. And he
That's
said,
cool.
"Oh, I can teach you." So I initially just learned from my dad. Um, he would just introduce me to all sorts of music. I mean, I'm probably the only 10-year-old girl playing Steely Dan tunes at the time. I
Yeah.
can't imagine many other girls grew up doing that on bass as well. Um, I was probably around 9 or 10 when I started on a full size bass as well. um, so yeah, and I just loved it. I don't know why. I mean, I did play a little bit of guitar as well. I learned luckily had guitar lessons at school as well. But I somehow got on better with bass. I don't know, found that was just my thing. Started my own all girl group when I was about 14 at school, like all girl rock group. Yeah, just carried on from there really. And in that band I wasn't the lead singer, but I did do backing vocals. And then I think I always felt like I couldn't be the lead singer because I was the bass player. And then this time I wanted to be I wanted to sing. I wanted to do that as well. So who says you can't do that?
You can't. There's no strict mold, is there, to a band? I mean, no. So that's very, very cool. That's cool. So how did you come up with the name Chasing Twisters?
So that's from one of our songs. We were struggling for a name. We were just throwing loads of ideas around. And one of our songs, it's actually called "You'll Play Better in a Hat." Cowboy hat, obviously.
Of course.
About putting a cowboy hat on and you suddenly become a better performer. I don't know if that's true.
I like that. That's a good one.
That's and the line is "Chasing Twisters down in Albuquerque," and we were like, "Oh, that's quite cool." I think originally it was "Dodging Twisters down in Albuquerque," and then one of us said "Chasing Twisters sounds better," and then somebody else said, "Well, that sounds like a really good name." So we did that. And my husband designed a logo for us, so our logo is like a twister with a cowboy hat on. So
that is awesome.
It's as cheesy as it comes, really, but yeah, we liked it.
That's very cool. But it's a very, very country name. The thing with bands is you have to have that name that's going to catch. If it doesn't catch, then it kind of gets lost. But I think Chasing Twisters definitely has that country feel to it, doesn't it? It really does.
I think so. Some people go, "Oh, I can't say that. There's too many Chasing Twisters, too many sounds." But I think it works. Yeah,
it works. It works really, really well. So tell me, your most recent single, "One Way Ticket." Tell me more about that.
Okay, so it's a song I wrote probably about 20 years ago now, and it was not in the format that it's in now. It was more, it was just like a singer-songwriter acoustic kind of song, quite slow, and it never worked. I don't know if you've had other artists on here saying they've had a song just floating around for 20 years and couldn't get it to work. And I had performed it like at open mic nights and stuff, and I just wasn't massively happy with it. And I think it was during lockdown, I was part of an open mic group who we obviously went online as everybody else did. And I tried it on there, and I was sort of like trying to work out different ways to do it. And then we got the band together, and I said to Craig, "Can we have a go at this one?" And one of our other guitarists, we have two guitarists, so Pat just came up with a really cool riff for it. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's what it needed this whole time." And it rocked. It was totally transformed, like from what it originally started off as. So it's basically a bit of a remembering a holiday romance kind of thing. That's the gist of it. Thinking like, what if you bumped into them now? What would they say? What if they saw me now? What would they think?
Would you recognise each other? That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the sort of story. There's nothing really that deep and meaningful behind it, but yeah, it's really nice that the band has actually done that to quite a few of my songs that weren't anything before, and then you suddenly put a whole band in, and all the parts just suddenly
just come together, and that's it. I must admit, we've had a lot of artists on that write, and it's like, they say they've got notes all over the place. I think there's one artist that actually said with all those notes they managed to put a whole song together. So they've had songs for years and years and years, and all of a sudden it just feels right to record it, or something clicks, obviously like with this one. So that's very cool. It must be a euphoric moment to think, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
It's when you play it as a band for the first time and you go, that was on a piece of paper 10 minutes ago, that's all it was.
And now it's alive.
Yeah, it's great.
I do love that. So tell me, what female artists have inspired you to do what you do?
So probably the biggest one is Sheryl Crow, because she's a bass player as well and a singer, and I've loved her since I was young, and so yeah, I probably grew up listening to a lot of her, and we played a lot of her songs in my band. That was cool as well. We played "If It Makes You Happy" and "Hard to Make a Stand" and all those ones, and I just really love her, and I just thought she was so cool. And when I oh, she plays the bass as well. And that was kind of like, I was looking for a role model, I guess, who did the
Yeah.
same as me, and she was that, and I love it that she's still going today, you know. Yeah, I loved Alanis Morissette when I was growing up as well. Just yeah, solo singers, songwriters,
Yeah.
Jewel as well. She doesn't get mentioned much anymore, but she was, you know, probably in the 90s, she was really up there with country singers. So, and
Yeah.
the weird thing is, I didn't really know I was into country at the time. I just thought it was kind of singer-songwritery, but now I'm like, oh, that was so country. But why did I not not realize it?
Didn't see that, yeah, I must admit. I think as well, obviously, a lot of Americans, they grow up with country music. It's around. Where obviously in the UK, obviously I don't know how old you are. I'm not going to age you, but when I was younger, country music wasn't around much. You really had to look for it. I remember phoning a shop in Nashville just to get CDs because you were struggling to get them.
Lost you.
You know, in the UK without having all the, if you went to HMV and places like that, it was stuff that was coming out was quite difficult. You've come back now.
I've got you now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you hung for a little bit there.
oh, sorry. I don't know if it's me or you. I'm not sure. Yeah. Guys, can you just get off the internet for a minute? Because I think I'm trying to do a Zoom and it's not working. It's okay. Just if you don't mind being off it for a little bit. It might not be me. It might be her. I'm not sure. Um,
Hello.
no, mine's still saying I've got full Wi-Fi. So if
Yeah, yeah, it's not you, it's
ah, oh, are
mine's
you
gone.
there? Are you there? That's all right.
Mine dropped me out altogether. So I'll talk to Dawn and hopefully she'll be able to chop us out in the middle of all this. But
Oh, cool. Oh, hang on. I've lost. Oh, there we go. I found you again. I lost my Zoom tab.
no, my internet has just dropped me out altogether. So I've managed to connect to my phone. So at least we can
Oh,
still.
that's good. I just said to my kids, get off the Wi-Fi. Oh, right. Okay. Where were we?
That's cool. I mean, I'm in Spain. I'm in Spain. So internet here can be a bit funny when it wants to be. When it works,
Oh,
it's amazing. But when it decides to die, it's a pain, as you can imagine.
yeah. No, well, ours can be dodgy as well. So.
That's fine. I'll let Donna know there's an awful bit in the middle, and hopefully she'll be able to just chop it out and
Yeah.
fix it.
Okay. Cool.
So let's get back. We're
Oh,
talking
singers.
about
Oh, you were talking. Yeah, you were saying you'd buying CDs from Nashville.
yes, yeah. I had to buy CDs from Nashville because you couldn't get the up-to-date stuff from like HMV. It was a lot of the, I mean, nothing towards the older stuff, but of course we had just got CMT, so you were hearing the likes of Reba McEntire and them sort of people, and that's the music I wanted. I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
get it here.
Yeah.
So for us, country music was kind of a taboo subject, I think. When I was at school, it was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anybody really said that they would be into country, because I think if you thought of country music, you just thought of an old crooner with a guitar, you know.
yeah, it's not what it is now. And I
No,
think,
no,
I
not at
mean,
all.
I grew up with Patsy Cline because my mum was into Patsy Cline and people like that. But you would never have gone out and say, "Oh, I listened to Patsy Cline" to your friends because they would
No.
have thought, "The hell are you listening?" You know what I mean? So I think for us, it was a real sort of taboo subject. I mean, now you get away with it a lot more because I think it's a lot more popular and it's a lot more poppy. So you've got, you've got the feel for it a bit more. But yeah, definitely when I was a kid, you kind of picked from that. It was a hidden on your phone. You listen to it at home. You didn't listen to anywhere else. On the phone, I didn't even have a phone back then. What am I talking about?
Oh, no.
That's so funny. But yeah, so are there any female influences within your family?
Within my family, musical influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Because my dad is the musical one, not my mum.
Yeah.
My mum is a massive influence. She's amazing. She's like the most amazing woman I've ever known.
Yeah.
She's a full-time carer, and she does an amazing job, but not a sort of a musical influence really. Apart from my lovely piano behind me, which is my grandma's, or was my grandma's.
Oh, awesome.
I got to keep when she passed away. So I mean, I guess that's something.
You can pass that down to the family. That's very cool.
Yeah, definitely. But no, my dad was like full-time gigging when I was little. I think the night I was born, my mum was slightly worried whether he would actually be back or not.
Is he going to finish that gig in time to get back for this?
Yeah.
I love it. That's very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for joining the craziness that happens in the room. But thank you for being here. And anything you've ever got to promote, just send us it. We'll love to help you out and everything else. But yeah, thank you so much. And thank you to all the fans for joining us and listening in. And we hope to see you again soon. Adieu.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.